Become who you are. Do what only you can do. Be the master and sculptor of yourself. Let us preface this video with a short account. What do you think this is? Do you think it took a lot of time to paint? It borders on the brink of seeming elementary, but it is catchy. It is unique. It stands out. It is original, influenced by many time periods and decades of development, but the style is very distinct. This was Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, a painting created by one of the greatest artists of recorded history, Pablo Picasso. But why are we showing this under the context of the Nietzschean quote? Georges Braque and Pablo Picasso first crossed paths in 1905. But it wasn't until 1907 that Picasso exhibited Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, often regarded as the first Cubist artwork. Picasso was recently exposed to African tribal art at a Parisian ethnographic museum, and this painting of 5 prostitutes heavily borrows from it. The art was a significant step forward in the realm of art. It was also a huge leap from his earlier blue and pink eras. Those works were much more representational and emotive and broke almost every rule of traditional Western painting. Picasso was reluctant to show the piece to the public. Therefore, it wasn't until 1916 that anyone saw it. Braque, who was a prominent painter himself, found the picture repulsive and fascinating at the same time. And can we really blame him? And Braque actually responded to this style by a painting of his own in 1908, Large Nude. It used the techniques of Paul Cézanne as a sobering influence. Thus started the analytical Cubism movement's initial phase, and the world of art changed just by the force of one painting. The painting made by a painter who ventured outside the realms of what is considered to be art. A painting which the painter thought would be received poorly. This is becoming who you are. Throughout Nietzsche's work, it is evident that he likes the concept of change. The snake which cannot cast its skin has to die. As well the minds which are prevented from changing their opinions, they cease to be mind, says Nietzsche. According to the philosopher, our consciousness does not stop growing. With each passing day, each lived experience, we are growing. How we deal with situations is changing. How we think about life is changing. But that does not mean that we acknowledge it. Much of the time, we try to retain opinions which were once true, but that is not right. At least, that is what Nietzsche teaches us. Convictions are more dangerous enemies of truths than lies, he claims. But the road which Nietzsche prescribes is not an easy one at all. Letting yourself be changed by life and its many circumstances is terrifying. Accepting it and allowing yourself to grow is hard. You would have to be exposed to pressure. You would have to maneuver through conflict. You would have to accept pain. And you would have to willingly suffer for your choices. But here is the thing. If we are honest to ourselves, can one become who they truly are without sacrificing what they aren't? And how would you know what you are not? How would you know what your path is? Among all the many paths in front of you, you would have to face the most terrifying thing known to any creature in this world. The unknown. You will make mistakes. You will fall. You will fall again, maybe several times. But that is simply the price to pay for becoming who you truly are. Here, the concept of living dangerously, which we discussed in another video, comes into play. Nietzsche ponders, you must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes? One important point to note with the adage of become who you are is the choice of words. While current society often advocates for knowing ourselves, this is not what the philosopher is referring to. The concept of knowing oneself reinforces the idea that we are finite in our potential. Often, we see examples of this when people say things like, "I always knew I would be a doctor," or "I always knew I would be a basketball player." While it is appreciable to know what one's aptitude is, it is a premise which indicates that there is a limit to what one can achieve. In some ways, one could even see this concept as regressive. probably because it means that what you are going to be in the end is something you were destined to be. But remember, destiny does not exist, at least in the Nietzschean world. What is sure, however, is that we grow as individuals with our own personal experiences. We are on our path, life itself, which changes us little by little on every little turn. And if we deny life that, we do not accept what we could become. Imagine if Picasso had never shown his friend the painting of Les Demoiselles d'Avignon because he thought Braque would laugh. Imagine if he had not continued with this new style of painting because of the initial criticism. He would probably not have gotten to the prestige he has earned after doing so. In fact, Braque was the first one to appreciate it. He too let the exposure shape him. With his answer to this painting, hidden to the rest of the world, the duo kick-started the age of Cubism. And now, in the 21st century, they are lauded as probably some of the best artists of the modern age, because they became who they were. Endless potential, the personification of growth itself. That is what we are. And each hurdle on the road is guiding us on how to overcome it and how to learn from it. So, let life mold you. Live dangerously. Let life make you learn and grow a lot. That is how you become who you are.